this is Don W6GPS, and today we're going to talk to you on how to set up your Kenwood D74 handy-talkie to work the International Space Station with APRS. So first of all, it is possible you can work the ISS with the rubber ducky antenna, the factory antenna. Very challenging, but it can be done. If I'm not using a beam antenna, I'm using the Diamond SRH770S, and it's about 26 inches long. And I've gotten some very good contacts with that. So if I'm going on a trip, don't want to carry a beam antenna, that's the antenna that I use for that. But if you want good success, you need to get a beam antenna, something like this. This is a Arrow 2 dual band antenna, has a built-in duplexer. I also have a elk antenna, and that's what I'll be using for part 2 of the video. So the video is going to be in 2 parts. First part is going to be how to set up your Kenwood D74. Second part on a separate video is going to be actual operations. So this way we can get you set up and you can go out and try it. So the first thing I want you to do with your radio is I want you to save the configuration. And you can do the save the configuration by going to menu 800s. It's in the 800 series, and it's called export. And what I want you to do is export the data, and then I want you to go to menu 999, which is a full reset. So I brought up the list. Here's the list of settings, and we're just going to go down the list. You've resetted your radio. First of all, just to remind you, save your configuration that you have now. Reset the radio. Then let's go set this up for ISS APRS operations. So here's the list of things that you're going to do. So you're going to do a full reset. And once you do a full reset, then you're going to take your radio and push function, which is the F key, and dual. And what that will do is that will put you into a single band mode radio. So it'll be single mode like this. And I've already set up this radio, so I'll be showing you samples here. So function F, then AB sets the radio into the single band mode. Go to menu 900. Menu 900 is display on. You want the display all the time. You're only going to be doing ISS ops for 10 or 15 minutes, so I would leave the display on. Menu 404, battery saver off. And the reason you want to turn the battery saver off, a lot of times the radio will just go to sleep and you'll miss a packet. So 404, battery saver off. 500, enter in your call sign, and I would use a SID of -7 if you're on a handy-talkie. Menu 501 is choose an icon. So I chose a Kenwood. Menu 503 is set to 1-to-1 and a status text. Well, this means that every time you beacon, the information in the status text is going to be sent all the time, every time. I put in there via ISS in capitals, or maybe your email address. And the reason is contacts could email you back telling you that you made it through the ISS. Okay, menu 504 is path equals. You're going to select others 1. Unless you have something else, but select others 1. Set to ARIS, ARISS. Now, the reason you want to set to ARIS is any APRS equipped satellite will respond to the ARIS path. So, Bob made it real easy for all of us. ARISS for path. 507 is DCD sense, detect data. And the reason I've chosen that is we're going to be using our Squelch open, and you're going to be able to send a beacon with a Squelch open. And also on detect data, if there is a packet in progress and you inadvertently send a beacon, it won't actually transmit until that packet has cleared the receiver. Now 510 is you're going to switch that to auto to 30 minutes. Now folks, you're not going to be auto beaconing 30 minutes. What's going to happen is when you want to send a beacon, you're going to be turning on and off the beacon on the beacon button. Okay, so no auto beaconing, and you're going to be turning the beacon on and off by hitting beacon. So decay algorithm is going to be 512. Decay algorithm you're going to turn off. 513 proportional pathing off. 514 as correction. 513 proportional pathing off. 514 speed off. You want to turn that off. 582 voice alert off. You definitely want that off, so that just turn it off. That way you hear all the packets. 903 is power on message, and for me I put ISS, so when you boot up your radio you can see if you're in the ISS configuration or maybe your standard configuration. And then 904 GPS. In the single band mode, you want GS for grid square. And basically, you can look at your latitude and longitude and your grid square. 920, battery save off. Again, we're trying to keep the radio on all the time. We don't want to be saving power while we're beaconing up to the satellite or listening for it. 921 is APO. You're going to turn that off. That's the same reason. You just don't want it to shut down, because if it shuts down, it's going to take a minute or two to get a GPS fix, and you have to have a GPS fix for the beacon to go, unless you used a fixed position, but that's something different. 941, I put my PF2 key to Squelch, and that way you can get real easy to the Squelch control. You'll be able to hit Squelch, and then you can adjust it. 950, time to UTC, and basically I set the time to UTC, whatever your local offset is. For me it's 4 right now, and then you're going to match the radio to UCT time. Then you're going to enter the frequency by hitting the ENT button and put 145.825. So then now we're all ready to go. So basically we're going to turn on the TNC by hitting function and list, and that turns that on, and you want APRS 12. Don't have KISS in there because it won't work. So APRS 12 in the TNC. So then when you turn the beacon on, each time you turn it on now, it's going to beacon. Now then, here's a kind of a cool thing that I found out. To open the Squelch, you're going to hit function and the Squelch control on the side, and what it does is it opens it up, it opens the control, and you turn the encoder. So with the Squelch open, then when you push ENT right here, what it does is it locks that in. So if I turn my radio off and turn my radio back on, the Squelch is open. So that's basically the settings to get your radio configured for APRS to the ISS. And what I would do now is turn the Squelch down. Is I go to menu and menu 800 and export the configuration for your ISS. Then what you can do is you could put this inside your computer, kind of rename the file, put it back on the SD card, and that way if you're using D-Star, if you're in a communications mode with voice or whatever, or regular APRS, and you want to switch to ISS, well, you've saved out the configuration for normal radio operations, and then you can import the ISS configuration just so that you can work the ISS. So basically, that is the easy settings to get you going. And Couple things though before we go outside on part 2 of the video is, remember, don't be sending a beacon every 3 seconds. You want to turn the beacon on, or correction, listen, turn the beacon on. You're going to see the screen make a transmission. It'll say STA in red, and then listen. That's basically all we're going to talk about on this video is setting the radio up. And then go to part 2 for outdoor operations. I do have links below listing some more information. You could click on it. I'll post a configuration file if you just want to go ahead and download it. Just remember, it's a configuration that you have to put your call sign in and maybe your email in. So anyway, if you do need to contact me, it's w6gps@yahoo.com.